There are numerous challenges that we faced. I mean, literally day one. The biggest challenge had to do with language and cultural differences. So my parents were one of the rare ones who actually decided to go back to school. So once we came to the United States, my parents made it a priority to learn English, and they actually enrolled in a junior college in our town, and they made sure that they would get some type of education and learn the language. Most other people, I'd say most of my friends that I grew up with who were also Romanian, their parents didn't do that, and so what ended up happening was the kids were translating for their parents constantly. And so anytime someone, if mom and dad had a doctor's appointment, the kids had to translate for them. They never quite mastered the language, and so because of that, they were very, very, I'd say, I mean, not shy, but just very hesitant, and kind of embarrassed to try to speak English. And so, so language was a big, that was a big challenge, I'd say. Another one was just culturally. So it's a completely different culture, and there's things that socially you pick up that just don't make sense. One of them is just uh, the cultural lying, meaning if someone asks you, "Hey, how you doing?" you say fine, and when things aren't fine, or when you see someone, you smile at them, and so that was kind of weird because in Romania you don't just randomly ask people, "Hey, how you doing?" Unless you know them, and secondly, if you smile at them, it either means you're hitting on them or you know them. And so, if you're just randomly smiling at people, it really threw my parents for a loop because, like, how did this person know me? Like, why are they smiling at me? And so, that was a little interesting and difficult for my parents to pick up for a number of years. Another thing that was a challenge was just I won't say necessarily that there was discrimination, racial discrimination, but we definitely felt our neighbors weren't excited that we were in the neighborhood, if that makes sense. We lived in, like I said, we lived in a really small town. It was a retirement town, and everyone obviously at that time they were all very much, they were there to retire and to die off, and so for them, it was like their golden years, and so everyone kind of knew one another. People served in World War II together, so there was that kind of that bond of like we're Americans, we're patriots, and who are these Armenians? Are they where are they from? Oh, Romanians. Oh well, we don't know. The only thing we know about Romania is that they had a dictator who was a complete jerk and killed a bunch of people. So there was this kind of stigma that was associated with being immigrants and not knowing the language and not knowing the culture, and so that was. I'd say that was probably the biggest challenge for my parents. For me as well, though. I mean, I remember riding the bus one day, and I was just learning English for the first time, and I saw llamas, and I thought they were camels, and so I said, "Hey, camels!" And obviously, all the kids made fun of me and said like, "He thinks it's a camel. He's so stupid." And I mean, as when you're in first grade, that like kind of you want people to not call you stupid, right? And so that was a bit, I would say, a challenge. Um, and so, uh, in many ways, I think that helped me adapt to just life better. I mean, I'm able to maybe thrive more in any place I'm located because of that experience, which is kind of neat for me. Um, let's see here. What are some interesting customs, ceremonies, traditional outfits, etc.? Okay, so Romanians were very we like to drink a lot culturally. Okay, not necessarily just believers, but like culturally, Romanians love their strong liquor and love to dance. I mean, those are like inseparable. So we love to eat, we love to drink, and we love to dance. So it's a very much your your stereotypical Greek, Eastern European mindset of like, hey, it's 9 o'clock, well, the party's just starting, type thing. And so the traditional garbs that we wear, the clothes we wear, are very much meant